everyone. Our preschool team wants to come and share with you today 9 tips to help your preschooler succeed in big church. So we want to start with tip number 1, make it special. Talk about it, pray about it during the week, that we're all going to get to worship together. Celebrate it, let them hear it in your voice as you talk about it, how excited you are. Alert the grandparents that the kids are going to call them and tell them that they're going to get to go to big church and celebrate all together. What fun. As you sit quietly in that service, make it be a time that you are loving Jesus, but you are also connecting with your children. One of my daughter's most special memories is that her daddy would always hold her hand during the service, or scratch their head, or just give them a hug. But you're connecting with the Lord, but you're connecting with them also. So make it special. Tip number 1. Tip number 2, explain exactly what's going to happen on Sunday. We will drive to church together. Mom and Dad will put on their mask, and anybody else in the family that's supposed to wear a mask. And you're going to find that almost everybody will have on a mask, because it's a way of telling our friends and our church family that we love and care for each other and we don't want each other to get sick. So we will all sit together. Now, people will be spread out, but children will all sit together as a family. And we will sing together, and we're going to worship together, and then we're going to listen to our pastor, Pastor Greg. He's going to talk to us, and that's called a sermon. And so we'll listen quietly to his sermon, and when the service is over, we're not going to jump up and run down the aisles and start being loud, but we're going to sit back in our seats, and we're going to watch Mom and Dad. When they give they tell us to stand up, then we will all go out together, staying together as we go to the car. Now, moms and dads, this is a tip. This is just a reminder. You haven't seen many of your friends in months, and you're going to want to visit and talk with them. But remember, your focus is your family worshiping together. Tell your buddy, say, let's get together this week. Let's call each other. But that morning, your priority is your family. And so tip number 2, explain exactly what's going to happen. Tip number 3 is practice at home. There are 2 ways that you can practice. One of them is the quiet game. Ask your children to pretend they are in big church, that they're going to sit and be quiet and be still. And you will set a timer and put it out in front of them for 2 minutes and see if they can sit and be quiet for 2 minutes. Now, if they succeed, you celebrate. But if they don't, you encourage them and say, we're going to try it again. As you play the game through the week, you'll keep adding time. 4 minutes, maybe the next time. 6, where you build up to maybe even 20 minutes or 25. And if they struggle, you can hand them quietly a crayon and a piece of paper, but you're always reminding them this is quiet time. Or you can quietly hand them a toy that they might sit and play with. But the goal is to remain quiet for that time. Another way to practice for Sunday is to listen to the family worship playlist. Brianna sends that out every week in one of her emails. And it's great to play in the morning to wake everybody up, or you can play it in the car, or you can sing it in the evening during your family devotions, or right before you go to bed. This way they will recognize and learn those songs, and when they begin to sing on stage, they can participate and be engaged. One of the things I did with my children is they might know the melody, but they couldn't remember all the words, and I might quietly just speak the next phrase real quickly at the beginning. And so then they would hear those words and then they could sing. And then at the end of that phrase, I'd speak in the next phrase and then they could. And that is a way to keep them engaged in the service. Tip number 4 is fill your big church bag. You want to help your children be successful by putting in their bag. You could put a toy, a quiet toy. You could put several crayons. You could put some paper or a tablet. You might put some copied sheets from our website or the sermon notes, just enough that could help them get through the service. One idea is to take, it can be a full piece of paper or a half, and if your children read, you could put the words of love, family, church, Bible, heaven, just different words that the pastor might use. But if they don't read, you could put a sticker or just draw a little picture of a church, of a Bible, a little picture of your family, so that they know what you're wanting there. Then ask them to listen to the pastor, and as he preaches, if the word love is used, then they're to make a little mark by that picture, love. And if they use the word family, they mark it. And so by the end of the sermon, they've listened and they can tell you many things that the pastor has said. Now, when you get home, take out their piece of paper and put it at the kitchen, your table as you're having lunch and you're talking about it, and discuss some of the things that were said. It'll be a good way to discuss. One more idea is to have the dollar question, and dads bring out that dollar bill and pop it and say, okay, I have a dollar question, and ask certain questions about the service. It could be about the music. It could be about the sermon, but let them get excited and answer it. If you have several children, you may want to have several dollars, but $1 is enough. It's great motivation for them to be engaged and pay attention during the service. So, fill their big church bag. Tip number 5, prepare the night before. To enjoy success on a given Sunday, it's going to depend a lot on how we prepare and plan on Saturday night. So get you a checklist and put on there, take baths, lay out your Sunday clothes, sing through your worship songs, pray together that God will bless your time together in big church. Go to bed on time, plan carefully for breakfast and even for lunch to eliminate any stress, mamas. And then you're ready for the day on Sunday. Prepare well the night before. Tip number 6, eat and use the restroom first. Make sure your kids have eaten. You might even consider carrying a little box of granola bars, and on the way to church, hand them a half a bar, a whole bar, just so that they're not hungry in the service and that they have energy to participate. A trip to the bathroom before you enter the worship service is a must to be successful. Talk to your children during the week. Tell them this is what we're going to do. When my kids were little and it was time to go in, they'd always say, oh, Mom, I don't have to go. And I'd say, no, this is for our family. This is for the good of our family. We're going to take one for the team and all go in together. And this is not an option. And we're all going to go try. And it was a team spirit, and we did it together. So prepare by making sure they're not hungry and they go to the restroom. Tip number 7, remember, all are welcomed. One of our most special worship services during the year is the Christmas Eve service because it's a family service. All ages are there, babies all the way through senior adults. And we love to be together, and it is so special. And during these days that are ahead of us, we are going to be having that same kind of service, a family service. So look, parents, don't be afraid. Don't worry. People will be understanding, and if the crayons all fall, it's okay. This is an incredible time, an incredible opportunity to teach our children to worship. So, you are all welcomed. Tip number 8, sit where your children can see. If I invited you to this big event and I said you're going to love it, but the only thing is you won't be able to see, you'll just be able to hear. You go, oh, I don't think I'd like that, because you need both experiences. And so to hear and to see. But sometimes our little ones, being so little and so behind people, they cannot even see the stage. So parents, this is a very strategic move for you. You might want to just simply pick your child up so they can see. Or you might want to sit in an area that is less crowded so they could look between people. Or sit at the end of a row where they could lean out a little bit and catch the stage. But it's up to you for them to be engaged and really enjoy the service, how important it is that they can sit where they can see. Tip number 9, it takes time. Parents, relax. Don't get discouraged. As a family, we're all going to be learning how to make this work. What doesn't work this week, you'll alter that a little and you'll go about it a different way. But we are all going to learn during this time. We hope that our 9 tips will be helpful and to you as you are on this incredible journey of teaching your children and to worship and worshiping together as a family.